This video gives some information about the checks which Bibledit can perform on the sentence structure. To find the settings for checking the sentence structure, click on Settings in the main menu, then click on Checks. At the bottom of the page, there is a link Settings for sentence structure. The first setting is about all possible capitals in the text of the Bible. Capital A, B, C, and so on. Bibledit uses this setting to check that a sentence starts with a capital. The second setting is about the small letters in the text of the Bible, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Bibledit checks that a header or a sentence does not start with a small letter. Another setting is for all possible punctuation marks at the end of a sentence. For example, full stop, exclamation mark, question mark, and colon. Bibledit checks that a sentence ends with one of those punctuation marks. Another setting is about the possible punctuation marks within a sentence, like apostrophes, commas, and semicolons. Bibledit checks that this punctuation marks occur within a sentence, and not at the end of a sentence. Another setting is the possible characters which are allowed in a sentence. For example, round, square and curly brackets, any of the numbers, and so on. One of the purposes of the allowed characters is when Bibledit checks on the sentence structure, it should not flag unusual situations as errors. If a sentence were to end with a closing bracket, Bibledit then thinks that this is not correct. Let's for example look at the sentence, John walks up to Tim. This sentence looks okay to Bibledit. Another example, John walks up to Tim, and Tim said, "Hi." Bibledit thinks that this sentence is not okay, because it does not end with a full stop, but ends with a bracket. If the closing bracket is one of the characters allowed within a sentence, then Bibledit does not see this closing bracket. Instead, it sees the full stop. And then the sentence is okay for Bibledit. Another setting is for entering the names, starting with a capital, which may occur after mid-sentence punctuation. For example, in those days, John the Baptizer came. This sentence has a comma, followed by a capital. Bibledit thinks that capitals should be at the start of a sentence, not in the middle. So by entering the name of John in the settings, and saving it, then Bibledit makes an exception for the word John if it follows a comma. If it sees the sentence in those days, John the Baptizer came, it notices the comma, then the name, John, and thinks that this is okay. The function checks on sentence structure is a very useful function to reduce the workload in translation work. Bibledit can do all these checks for you. Thank you for watching.